So in this video, we're going to go over overseeding. There's a few things that we want to touch on, and hopefully by the end of it, you'll have a lot more confidence to possibly take on this project yourself, or when you hire out a contractor to do it for you, a little bit more confidence in your selection of them. First thing is our overarching topic of overseeding. What is it? We're going to take some grass seed, which we have here. This is a 90-10 fescue bluegrass blend. There's 90% fescue seed to 10% bluegrass. All quality seed should have a label on it. This one does as well. That will tell you how much weed seed, other crop seed is in your actual bag of seed as far as a percentage. And your goal is 0%. This one is 0%. So that's high quality seed. Again, fescue bluegrass, which does well in Kansas. So starting with your seed selection, we're then going to plant that in the lawn. There's a number of different techniques to do that. The way that we're going to do in my own lawn is with this machine here. It's a Toro vertislicer, slice seeder. There's a row of knives over here in the front, or back, I believe, in the back side with seed in the front. It's going to drop and drive that seed into the ground with those knives, about as deep as we really want, but we're aiming for around 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch in depth. It's a great way to overseed a lawn. You know, you're going to get that seed to soil contact, which is what we're looking for. Other ways you can overseed is with a push spreader, much like you would with fertilizer, where you're just broadcasting that seed out there. That requires getting the surface very clean so you can make sure that seed is getting to the soil as well as you can. There are drop seeders where that seed just drops straight down as you push the spreader, so you've got to really be cautious of where you're putting that seed, but that's a good device to use along edges where you're not trying to push the seed out very far. You can throw it out by hand, just grabbing a bag of seed and tossing it down. There's a number of different ways in which you can accomplish the overseeding of your lawn, but it all comes down to your preparation, getting your seed bed as clean and free of any debris as possible so that seed can reach it, and then actually putting down the correct rate of seed. With this seed that we're going to be using, we look to put it down anywhere between 3 and 5 pounds per 1,000, and that's on just a standard average healthy lawn. If it's stressed or signs of thinness, weak traffic, my lawn, I've got lots of areas where it is thinner than I'd like. I'm going to go a little bit heavier, between that 5 and 10 pounds per 1,000, and then I've got a few just bare spots that we're going to push the envelope 10 to 20 pounds. We're just going to go down very heavy to try to get that to fill in. But a good rule of thumb is 3 to 5 pounds per 1,000 square feet over your yard. But again, don't be afraid to go heavy. It's really the best time of the year to seed. You get one really good shot at it, so I'd rather have enough seed to let the birds eat some and have a little bit wash away, and still make sure I get enough seed to come up. So go to a little bit of the heavier side of whatever seed you use, but any store-bought seed off the shelf should have rates on it as well for you to check out. In the actual seeding process for our own self, using this machine, we're going to go over our lawn twice in 2 different directions at a 45 degrees. So we'll go one direction, either east and west, and then come in at a 45, and then just depending on the area, but always doing 2 passes intersecting at a 45 degree angle. On this machine in particular, we've got the ability to set our seed rate anywhere from as low as 0 pounds up to 10 pounds per 1,000, which is fairly nice. Otherwise, you're having to do a little bit of math in your head while you're actually applying the seed to make sure you're getting the correct rate, where this kind of takes some of the thinking out of it for you if you just get it set. After you plant your grass seed, you're going to want to water it a decent amount for a fairly long amount of time. I say those kind of vague terms because it is a little bit more unique to the lawn and your own irrigation system capabilities. We're looking for moist soil consistently throughout the day for upwards of 4 to 6 weeks. That can be a lot of water and can cost a lot of money. And it's something that should be considered when you're planning on seeding a higher water bill following that. Oftentimes with a traditional or conventional sprinkler system, You might be watering anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes a zone, depending on what type of sprinkler head you have in your system. Anywhere from 2 to 3 times a day, depending on how much sun each zone receives, or if it's a shadier zone, you don't want to overwater, so maybe just twice a day. But certainly morning, think about morning, midday, and afternoon, evening, getting some sort of moisture down there for quite a while. After that point, you're staying off of it, watering it, no mowing for at least 4 to 6 weeks. If it's growing super well, you might be able to get in there a little bit earlier, but you're not really wanting to put any traffic on your lawn as soon as you're done overseeding. But if you follow all those steps, watch along in our videos, see how we do it. Hopefully you'll be able to tackle this project, or at least have a little bit more confidence going into this seeding window, of knowing that your lawn's getting the best care that it can. So, thanks. Okay, so we are all done overseeding our lawn. We were able to take our slice seeder, put down just at 50 pounds worth of seed over my 6,000 square feet. So we were right around that 8 pounds per 1,000, which, averaging out with all my weak spots and thin areas in the front yard being a little bit rough, I'm pretty happy with that. At this point, we're going to start watering it. Set up to go off 3 different times a day, 6 a.m., 12 p.m., and 6 p.m. For about 5 minutes a zone to start with, and I'll begin to monitor that and make sure I make any adjustments if I need the moisture there a little bit longer. If I need to add a 4th start time and break it up to more 6, 10, 2, and 6, I might. At this point, it comes down to a little bit of watching your lawn grow. Seeing where it needs extra water or less, picking up twigs and sticks and things that might get in the way, keeping it clean, staying off of it as long as you can, any children, pets, moving your trash cans to a different location so you're not walking over it continually, doing your best to stay off and let that grass do its thing. Here in about 2 to 3 weeks, we'll put down a little bit of starter fertilizer to give it some food to really pop and take off. And then about a week or 2 after that, hopefully start mowing. And at that point, mowing as little as possible, but while maintaining the correct growth rates and heights for that grass into the season. Through the end of the year, we're going to want to make sure we keep all the leaves off the lawn. An excessive amount on the grass through the winter can shade out the grass and make it thin and die off through sitting there for months at end until you get around in the spring to clean up your yard. So make sure you're keeping the leaves off of it. I would go ahead and recommend bagging through the end of the year. Don't even worry about mulching and trying to get that to break back down into the soil. We want to keep the yard as clean as we can so that grass has a chance to grow, as well as through the winter making sure you're watering adequately. If it does stay not hot but cold and dry and windy, we get a lot of that in Kansas. You're going to want to do some supplemental irrigation. If your sprinklers are already blown out, get a garden hose and a above ground sprinkler and get some moisture down. The grass is going to still be young through the winter and need as much help to make it through that if we don't get snow or other forms of moisture. But at this point, you've done a lot of hard work, hopefully, and gotten your yard to where you're ready to sit back and watch some grass grow. Hopefully these series of videos helped you figure out what to do in your lawn, have a little bit more confidence making a plan, whether doing that yourself or hiring out a lawn contractor to take care of that. But thanks for watching. we'll hope to update you here in a few weeks as we've got some progress pictures. So stay tuned. But thanks.